Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer, and joining me today is my good friend 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘆 and we are going to be talking about a very important resolution coming up in the Congress. Let's welcome 𝗤𝙧 and hear everything about it. 𝗤𝙧, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaste Sree, and happy to be back here.
So next week is going to be a big day, and Congressman Shri Thanedar is going to be, I'm going to let you fill that up.
Congressman Shri Thanedar is going to be, actually he has already submitted a resolution that is celebrating Hindus in America and also calls out the rising anti-Hindu hate and Hinduphobia that is spreading across the country. So it's a resolution for the US Congress, and it's already in, and we are looking for co-sponsors, and it's a wonderful way to get into Ram Navami next week.
Yes, indeed. And a lot of things happening next in a few days. Is New Year's, Baisakhi, Tamil New Year's Day, and a few other states who follow the sun as their calendar. So a lot of good things happening. So this was a long time in coming, if you ask me, 𝗤𝙧, because we are seeing so many things happening. You also saw, by the way, congratulations. I know you had put in a lot of effort in getting that letter that was signed by all Indian American congressmen and women on Hinduphobia, where Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy has written to the Department of Justice asking for some sort of an action taken thus far. 𝗤𝙧, talk to us a little bit about how things are on the East Coast. I know on the West Coast they're pretty bad, and I've been having a fairly good grip on those things. But on the East Coast also we are hearing vandalism, isn't it?
Correct. So this is something that has been alarming for the last at least a year and a half. There is concerted, organized, and almost pre-planned efforts that are happening all across the country, especially in the East Coast, in New York, New Jersey area, as well as in the California region, where Hindu temples, including very small ones that are like, really local community temples, that are getting targeted and vandalized. And the people who are doing it, especially in New York, the one that was done in New York, that was caught on camera. And you could see that these people actually hate Hindus, and they even desecrated the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, and they broke down the statue. So it is a very vicious aggression that is happening across the country. You obviously saw SB 403, which was also an organized, pre-planned anti-Hindu legislation that thankfully eventually got squashed by the governor. You saw the Cisco case that was thankfully won by the person who was suffering from the anti-Hindu rhetoric. So all these things combined together, along with events in campuses, especially in campuses, have been bothering the American Hindu community significantly over the last couple of years. And I have to congratulate all Hindu advocacy groups for making an immense effort in their own areas. Somebody who is operating out of New York, they have been doing a fantastic job. Kona, I will name one, did a fantastic job in New York, New Jersey area, in Atlanta. HF obviously has done significant amount of work. The World Hindu Council of America, VHP, has been spreading awareness about it all across the country. And as Hindu Action, we held 3 congressional briefings in the last 6 months. And each briefing was very successful, thankfully, because of the support and the coverage we all have been getting. So as Hindu Action, we made it our intention and effort that before elections, before the primaries in most places, we need to have a resolution that members of Congress can talk about when they go to election this year. And they need to show the American Hindu community that they are putting their money where their mouth is. Because so far what we had seen over the years was that American Hindu community was supportive of certain lawmakers, and they are a prosperous community, they are a well-to-do community, they support members of Congress, and they were not being reciprocated in terms of what they expected from the elected officials. And as an organization that aims to educate members of Congress and other elected officials, we decided that this has to change, and we work towards it. And what you see is an outcome of that effort.
Thank you so much. So now talk to us through this event that's going to take place next week. Is it open for public, people living in and around Washington, D.C.?
That's correct. It's so next Monday at 12 noon at the National Press Club in the 4th Estate Room. There is an event that is the press conference by Congressman Thanedar, formally announcing the resolution that he has introduced, and he's going to take questions from members of Congress. And we are inviting all community leaders and anybody who would like to join, actually, honestly, in the DC area, or even if you're flying from, there are a couple of people flying from abroad in other cities, from other cities. Everybody is welcome. Come and support. And it is important to show that we are thankful to the members of Congress for supporting this. We are thankful to Congressman Thanedar for putting his efforts into making this happen. You know, over the years, a lot of people tried, but we are really thankful that he put his effort into this and made this happen. So please join us. And I think you can put the link. I can send you the link and put it in the description. And people can, it is important that people RSVP, because otherwise they won't let you in. There's a QR code that they will send to those who have RSVP'd.
Thank you so much, 𝗖𝗎. Now, moving forward, there is one thing that got started in around, I think, later part of 2022, where we were trying to get the United States Congress to recognize the genocide that took place in Bangladesh in 1971. I mean, this is like unfinished business. Let's, you know, if you want to say 𝗤𝙑𝙬, we'll say, yeah, this is also unfinished business. We have to be in your face. We can't, we can't be doing anything less than that. Now, this is, see, surprisingly in that pleasant surprise, Ro Khanna was willing to co-sponsor it, and you're looking for a Republican congressman / senator to try and see if we can move this thing forward one more time. Unfortunately, elections are again around the corner, so maybe if you get started now and be ready with it by Jan 2025, at least you have a 18-month window to get this thing through, hopefully. What are your thoughts on that?
So I would say that the 1971 genocide resolution that, you know, our team had really worked towards bringing last time. Unfortunately, Congressman who brought that, he did not make it to the next Congress, so we could not reintroduce it. We are looking for a Republican sponsor from the Foreign Affairs Committee to sponsor it. I'm hoping Ro will co-sponsor it again, because he did so last time.
Ro promised on my channel. Hang on.
Yes.
Ro promised on my show that he will. So we will hold him to it. Go ahead.
Perfect. So yeah. So you know, this is important because we not only must not forget the genocide of 3 million people by the Pakistan army and allied Islamists in 1971, most of whom were Hindus. Victims, I would say 80% plus were Hindus. It's a number that cannot be given up. So we need to make sure that the world recognizes it. And the second most important thing is that the people who committed that genocide, many of them are living in America. They're living and they're part of organizations like 𝗖𝗍𝗏. I'm naming that organization because this is public news, where they have been accused and then the Bangladesh government has tried to extradite them for the crimes they committed against Hindus. And no, by Bangladesh government is not a Hindu government, you know, so nobody can accuse them of quote unquote Hindutva. So this needs to come out in public, and the best way to do it is for the Congress to recognize it. And then of course, people will know what these people were doing in 1971 and what they are still doing in America, many of these Islamists. So that's why it is important that we reintroduce that resolution.
You know, viewers, I would encourage you to read that report by Mascarenhas, which he had to release after he escaped from Pakistan along with his family to London. And only then did he dare to release that, because that came, I think, 3-4 months before the actual action took place in Bangladesh. And if you read that thing, man, I mean, it's not tears, it's blood will come down your eyes, because you know how they went about doing it. First, somebody went and marked all the Hindu houses. Second, just to be sure, everybody, every male, they would open their trousers to check and see if you are circumcised. And if you're not, you were deemed to be a Hindu and you were killed. Just like that. It was the most inhuman way to treat Hindus. Of course, the women suffered a much worse fate. There were wells they found where there were nothing but bodies and bodies. This was after the Indian army went in and liberated Bangladesh. So there is a lot of stuff there, and that needs to be all resolved. You cannot just like that wish it away, because this group, this community, this religion has made it a habit of perpetrating the crime and then claiming victimhood. I have no sympathy for the Gazans today, zero. After what they did on October 7th, I'm telling, I personally have no sympathy for them. whatever they are trying to do is just essentially saying that we have the numbers, we know how to congregate. It doesn't matter if it is right or wrong. We are right. That is the attitude. This needs to be taken head on. And I'm glad somebody is, lending their shoulder to it. And I'm talking about you, 𝗒𝘅. And we are all here. We are doing our little bit to try and help. Viewers, some of you may want to consider donating to Hindu Action. 𝗒𝘅 has quietly got about so many things done in the last couple of years. I'm not doing mukhastuti, okay? Mukhastuti means praising you in your face. I'm not doing that. I'm just telling our viewers the facts, because it's not easy to, speak to Congressmen. First of all, you have to go, the Bhagwan may be ready to give you a var, but the Pujari first have to allow you. So there are you have to get past the staff and things like that. It's not easy. And there are people like McCormick, I'm going to name him also, because he was very enthusiastic initially and then he changed his mind on some of the issues. So these are all things that are happening because somebody else is maybe crying louder. 𝗒𝘅, tell us a little bit about what happened or what the process is when you're thinking about, like, for example, in Sree, you have found a friend because he has grown up in India. He understands these things much better than many others do. But in terms of trying to, typically, if you have to issue, how long does it take before you can get what I would call as a critical mass? Last question, and then we can wrap it up.
Very good question, Shri. So I would say that nothing that we are doing is possible without the support and the participation and the cooperation of the entire community. Everything that we have successfully done in Washington, D.C. Has happened because there are people in Ohio, there are people in Michigan, there are people in California, New Jersey, New York, Florida, Houston, you name it. They are working on the ground. And so what I first look for is those people. And, I have been lucky that across the board, we have had support, no matter which organization, which group, which, background they belong to. So those things really pick up, because I'm a nobody when I walk into somebody's office or to try to educate them about an issue. I become somebody when they see people behind me, they see hundreds of people behind me. And that's the support I'm carrying when I go and meet somebody. And I have to say that in Washington, D.C. itself, I have so many people who quietly in different ways add up. I cannot do everything and I'm not good at everything. So what we have been doing is we have been trying to optimize our resources. We have been trying to optimize our support, and we have been trying to educate the community. So this process is ongoing. Wherever I am, in whichever role I am, I'm trying to do this. And there are members in the community who are appreciating that and they're embracing it. There was a time, many years ago when our community and maybe myself would just be happy with the picture with the congressman and just donate a ton of money just for taking a picture and putting it in a living room. So that we have to overcome that, because the role of a member of Congress, or for that matter, any elected official, is to pass laws and make legislation. If we are not getting that from them, then we are not getting anything from them. No matter how many Diwali parties you do and no matter where they show up on, wearing a kurta, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's good. It's a very good thing, but it's not enough. So we started off with that mindset. And luckily, out of every few people I talk to, majority believe and support this change in attitude and change in concept. And it is bipartisan. I'll be honest with you. There have been times when we have been hoping that something will be more done by the Republicans. And we were giving up on some Democrats. And then suddenly they rise to the occasion, and vice versa. So, this is something that I'm learning as I go. And I'm sure that we all are learning as we go. But the best thing is that we are getting results, and we are working where the rubber meets the road. And I think that's a fortunate opportunity for us.
Thank you so much, 𝗒𝘅. Good luck to you. We'll be looking forward to this event. We'll be carrying more information about that after the event. And I will give you the link for viewers. You need to RSVP so that you can be present at the National Press Club, Washington, D.C. Thank you once again, 𝗒𝘅. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.